Well, hi, I'm back again. Cool. I'll just wait a few moments. Okay, let's just wait and make sure that it is working, because my Wi-Fi can be really dicky and then it comes up going connection is about to drop out. So let's just see for a moment. Come on. I think it should be working. Let me just wait just for a second before I jump back on into it. The joys of lives. Sometimes I just don't know why I just don't record a video and pop it up. Me and technology. All right, cool. Hi, person with their eyeball. Announce yourself. All right, I'm just going to get on into it because it's weird just talking to a live and waiting. So awesome. So today I have a really juicy topic that I wanted to talk to you about, and that is my kind of 4-step formula or 4 keys that I follow in order to feel more pleasure, yeah? In order to take kind of little localized bliss bombs and make them big, expanded, juicy pleasure and delicious experiences through my body. Now, with this formula, these 4 things that I do, these 4 key steps I do, when I was practicing and learning them and exploring them, I did them alone. I chose to sort of implement them and explore them through my self-pleasure practice. And I found it to be really beneficial for a couple of reasons. And the first one is because it allowed me enough time to explore each kind of different step and see where I was having blocks and see what was kind of stopping me from moving into a more fully embodied experience of that particular step. And then I could kind of work, or I could write in my journal, or I could be like, wow, that was really interesting. I couldn't get from, point A to point B. I wonder what was holding me back, what was stopping me, where was my resistance? And it was really good to move through that process alone. It also allowed me a lot of time. So sometimes when we're trying to do practices with a partner, we're kind of sensing, or we kind of have that background mind chatter of like, am I taking too long with them, or what are they thinking, or maybe I should just forget about me and focus on them. So it takes off the pressure, yeah? And we all know that pleasure does not bode well with pressure, yeah? So it's very hard to experience pleasure when you have added pressure there as well. So these 4 things are really good, and I wanted to invite you to explore them and investigate and play with them in your own self-pleasuring practice before you and you can very much implement them with a partner, but give them a go with yourself first, yeah? Solo sex is so delicious and important, and such a great way to dive deeper into what's possible for your body. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk to you about with these 4 steps is that whilst they are excellent signposts on the pathway to pleasure, don't use them as the destination to get to this mind-blowing orgasm. They can actually do that, of course, these steps are wonderful stepping stones in order to experience mind-blowing bliss and transcendence and awesomeness, but use them to experience a more delicious journey, yeah? Because again, when we put a destination on the end, when we're putting steps in order just to get somewhere, we're already thinking about where we need to get. We're already putting an expectation, we're putting pressure, we're putting kind of an endpoint on it, when really the magic is in the journey, yeah? This is where you will experience the healing, where you'll see where your blocks are, where your resistance is, where you can kind of dive deeper into parts of yourself, yeah? The journey is the magic. And it's all pleasure, it's all sex, it's all important, yeah? So sometimes I really feel like we rush through all the gold in order to have this orgasm, when sometimes the orgasm is only 2 seconds or 4 seconds or 8 or 10, whatever it is, but you're missing this half an hour or this 20 minutes or this 15 minutes of just pure connection and embodied bliss, yeah? So I really want you to think about focusing on this destination, not on the destination, on the journey rather than the destination. I know it's cliche and cheesy, but it really does make the difference. And it also allows your mind to let go of any of this expectation and this pressure, which is going to hinder your feeling anything in the process. Yeah. So there are 4 S keys. So the keys are all 4 S words. So it's spark, sensation, sublimate, and surrender. Yeah, so I'll go into what each 4 of those mean. So just to recap, it's spark, sensation, sublimate, and then surrender. So the first one, spark, is actually kind of one of the most important ones, because you can't take your car out of the garage and head down to Pleasure Town when there's no gas in it, or when you haven't turned the ignition key. Yeah, so the spark it phase of the formula is igniting desire in order to lead to arousal, which will lead to more bliss and pleasure, and kickstart the process. Yeah, it's putting the gas in the engine, it's turning the key, ready to take the car down to Pleasure Town. Now, a lot of people can kind of get stuck in this stage and go, well, I'm just going to wait for it to spontaneously hit me. I'm going to be like sitting there one night watching Netflix, and I'll be like, oh, holy crap, I'm feeling horny or toey or ready to kind of, take my car out of the garage. And for many of us, it just doesn't happen like that, yeah? We actually have to walk down to the garage, look at our car, grab our keys, and decide to go for the drive, yeah? We have to go, okay, what do I need in order to go on this journey? Well, I need to put gas in my car, I need to turn the key, I need to put my seatbelt on. That's taking the analogy a little far. I need to buckle up for the ride of my life. But you know what I mean, right? You have to decide first. So the deciding part, the step to take the journey, has nothing to do with whether you feel like it or not. Yeah, obviously you want to feel in a good place and you want to be like, yeah, this is something I want to do. You have to give yourself consent, but you don't actually have to feel the desire before you take the journey. You can do things in order to kickstart the desire. So I can do a whole live on the topic of responsive and spontaneous desire. But in order to just kind of cut it down a little bit, basically you do things in order to spark the desire inside of you. Yes. So sometimes we think, oh, we should just kind of be hot and ready. And most of the time it's not really the case for many women. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it's like you get flashes of these really gorgeous feelings of desire, or all of that spontaneous deliciousness, and that's wonderful. But for a lot of people as well, it's kind of, you have to kind of work for it. Yeah. So this is about finding out what sparks the desire in your belly. What gives you that little bit of feeling of like, yeah, this feels good. I could kind of keep going with this. That doesn't mean you have to go all the way, but it does mean that you'll have a willingness to open and kind of explore, maybe lighting up that fire a little bit. Now, this can look like completely different for so many different women. Yeah, what turns me on is not going to turn you, or it might do, but your own unique sexuality is what will allow you to explore and decide what turns you on. Yes. So for a few things for me that I know, if I want to go into self-pleasuring, or I want to kind of have a beautiful connective experience with my body, I might put on some beautiful music, do a jade egg practice. I find if I put my jade egg in with some beautiful coconut oil and some music, and I just gently rock like this, in and out, and start to breathe and move breath through my body, very quickly I start to feel those sparks of arousal through my body. That feeling of desire starts to arise. Yeah. For some women, it might be putting on lingerie. It might be reading erotic fiction. It might be watching a little bit of porn. It might be sending some text messages to your partner. It might, whatever it is. Yeah. There is no right or wrong way to turn yourself on, to ignite the spark of desire within your body. So this is a really exciting part of the whole process, because you get to explore as well. And sometimes what we think would never in a million years, start our engine, actually does. There are things that I think, oh wow, I'm really surprised that was something that my body responded to. You don't judge it, you just go with it. Yeah. So really you can start writing a list of things like, what would my ignition starters be? It might be, God, I just need a glass of wine in a bath, and I need to come back into my body, and then I put some music on and rub moisturizer over my body, or do a breast massage, or just some slow dancing, or whatever it is. Yeah. So really explore that. once you've got the ignition started, once you have backed the car out of the garage, then it's time for step 2. So step 2 is really, damn it, I'm out of water. I'm kind of sitting in the sun, so my mouth is getting parched. So step 2 is sensation. Yeah, so you've ignited the spark. You have started the sexual energy. And just to go back to step 1 first for a second. Another reason why we want to kind of hang out in this step of sparking it is because you're sparking sexual energy in your body. And sexual energy is going to be the fuel that's going to allow the body to open and experience the pleasure. Yeah, it's the turn on, it's the delicious feeling, it's the igniting all of that juiciness so that in a moment we'll be able to spread it through our body. Yeah, so we need to have that fuel, we need to have the pot on the heat. So the sexual energy has started through your body. You're starting to feel a little bit of arousal, or there's desire there. You're feeling in your body. You're feeling connected. And then it's step 2. And step 2 is sensation. So I like to say it's like to push into the sensation, to push into the pleasure, to push into the good, yeah? Because sometimes when we start to self-cultivate pleasure, or we're kind of in it, we're pleasuring ourselves, or we're making love, or whatever it is, then our mind starts to take over. We start thinking, is this going to happen for me? Will I get to the big O? You know, our mind starts to wander. Am I taking it along? Blah, 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 blah. And this is where we want to cut out the mind chatter and we focus purely on the sensation. So we've sparked it, we've sparked that sexual energy, we've sparked that pleasure in our body. Now we're going to push into the pleasure. We're going to focus 100% on what we can feel in our body, yeah? Not what we're thinking, what we can feel. So you want to notice as you pulled your car out the garage, on the trip, you're on the trip now, you're noticing the trees, you're noticing the sun, you're noticing the road. You're not thinking about, well, you shouldn't be thinking whilst you're driving, right? You're not thinking about a million other things or texting. What you're doing is you're focusing on your driving, yeah? You're focusing on where you need to keep going. You need to focus on other cars, you need to focus on whatever it is. So this is the same with self-pleasuring. You're focusing on what you can feel, yeah? You're not thinking, you're not future tripping. There is a big thing that happens with women, not with women, but with people in general. We can sometimes spectate. We can come out of our body and we're watching ourselves from outside of ourselves with what we're doing. Yeah, so we spectate. We don't want to be a spectator. We want to be in our body feeling. So again, some women find this little section quite difficult. So things like mindfulness can help. Things like coming back to going, what can I feel right now? Being really, really conscious of making every time you connect with your body, what can I feel? Looking at different strokes, looking at different ways to touch your body, looking at when your mind does wander, go, there's my mind wandering again, let's bring it back to what I can feel. Just that simple act of catching that moment of disconnect or moment of going into your mind is enough to go, just that awareness is mindfulness, yeah? So just continually coming back into your body and going, what am I feeling right now? Is there pleasure here? How can I amplify that pleasure? How can I push into that pleasure? And this is where the juiciness starts to grow. Because when we direct our energy and our attention onto something, it's going to grow. So the more we focus on our pleasure or what we can feel, those sensations are going to grow bigger. They're going to expand, yeah? If we keep focusing on our mind, that's where our focus will expand. We'll start future tripping, we'll start thinking. So it's going to be tricky to start with, and I know for a lot of women this step can be really excruciatingly annoying, but stick with it because it gets easier. The more you bring your mind back, the more you come back into the body, the easier it is, yeah? The easier it is to come back into your body. Now, sometimes being in your body doesn't feel safe. And now this is where you get to explore this step. If you're feeling like, I don't like to be in my body, there's sadness there, I get annoyed, there's resistance. Awesome. This shows you that there is a little bit of work to be done, a few hurdles or a few blockages that we can uncover and bust through, yeah? So rather than getting annoyed, just see it as an opportunity to dig deeper and go, wow, that's really, really interesting. I don't like to be in my body, or I don't like to, it feels, I'm getting annoyed or I'm getting angry, yeah? So after we've built those sensations, after we've really pushed into the sensation and focused on what we can feel, then we want to sublimate, yeah? So again, back to the car car analogy. We're now on the highway, we're cooking with gas, we're feeling really good, our hair's blowing in the breeze, we've got the radio up, we're like, this is the best road trip I've ever been on, and we're going to hit cruise control, yeah, because we feel safe, we feel relaxed, we're like, we know where, you know, what we're doing is right, we're on a one straight highway, there's no roadblocks, there's no danger, we're putting on cruise control, we're letting our hands go, we're not even thinking about where we're going, yeah? Please don't do this in a car, I don't want to be responsible for any car crashes. But now the car's driving itself, yeah? You've got your hands off, cruise control, you're just relaxing. This is where you get to surrender. Again, this is a biggie for a lot of women where we want to keep our hands on the steering wheel. We want to kind of monitor those gears. We want to change the gears. We're directing to our destination. Hands off, let it happen, yeah? This is where we get to kind of fully trust that our body is doing what it's supposed to do, that we are exactly where we need to be, and that whatever we're experiencing is perfect, yeah? That we don't actually have a destination, that this is it, we are in it, and we get to ride those waves of pleasure, the ripples, the sparks, the things, the resistance, the coming up against whatever it is that feels a little bit icky, and we just get to appreciate and surrender to it all. Now, if that means that we do go over to like up the big hill and down the other side, and we have a really big heart-burstingly open, amazing orgasm, awesome. But if we don't, even awesomer, yeah? We have learned to kind of enjoy the whole journey. We're training ourselves to not to rush, but to feel and to go deeper and to experience our pleasure in a deeper, more profound way. And that's where the gold is. That's where the magic is. So ways that we can kind of look at surrendering a little easier is coming back to your breath, is allowing your breath to kind of help your body to stay in a relaxed and open way, yeah? So breathing is really, really good. Breathing a little bit, keep your same breath, but breathe deeper with an inhale and an exhale. Play with a little bit of sound, release the sound if you want. That always helps to kind of clear any mind stuff or any resistance. Just, yeah, coming back into the body. If you keep coming up to, like you're coming back to grab the controls, keep saying to yourself, I'm safe. I'm worthy of pleasure. I'm safe. Let go. You know, any kind of affirmation that feels good for you, just come back into your body using that affirmation. Yeah. So it's really, really important to allow yourself to take the hands off the steering wheel and just enjoy the journey. Yeah. So just to recap, we've got those 4 steps. We've got spark it, spark that desire. Don't wait for it just to spontaneously arise. Do something that ignites that fire in your belly. Do something that brings that little tingle in your tummy. Yeah. So that is in and of itself an awesome way to explore what your body responds to, what kind of lights your fire. That's going to be your gas and your ignition to get that car out. Then you're on the journey, you're into sensation. So you're looking at pushing further into your body, pushing into the pleasure, noticing what you can feel, noticing your senses, what you can touch, what you can taste, coming out of the mind and back into the body. The awareness of just simply coming out of your mind into your body is mindfulness in and of itself. So just keep practicing that, yeah? Then you've got sublimate. Sublimate is taking your pleasure and then moving it upwards. Oh, I didn't even say sublimate. Oh, did I say sublimate? No, I didn't say sublimate. So you're on cruise control. Then the 3rd step is sublimate. So sublimate is taking that pleasure, that gorgeous sensation, and then moving it upwards. Yeah, it's moving it through your body. So it's like taking say you've got a honey pot, right? You've got a honey pot in your belly or in your yoni, in your hoo-ha, and you're adding to that delicious honey pot all that juicy honey. It's gorgeous, overflowing, warm liquid. And then what we want to do is we want to take that and move it through our body. We want to take that kind of, that sensation, that turn on, that electricity, that sexual energy, and move it through our body in order to experience pleasure in different parts of our body, yeah? We want to and to do this, you can use your visualization, you can use your hands, you can move it with your hands, use it with your mind. So what you're doing is you're focusing on taking all of that juicy sensations that you've just been cultivating in the last 2 steps, The third step is sublimate. You're taking it and moving it through your body. So you're moving it upwards, yeah? And what this does is it allows your pleasure to expand through your body. It allows your pleasure to go to different areas of your body so you feel more embodied with your bliss, yeah? So it starts to kind of takes on a different form of pleasure, yeah? So rather than just sort of like a more localized spark, it becomes a much bigger, more full-bodied bliss bomb. And that actually is one of the most important steps, and I forgot it. So just to recap, you've got spark it, you've got sensation, then you've got to sublimate, which means bring that energy up. Use your mind to draw that sensation all the way up. Now you can use it by using your hands and bring it up. You can use it by visualization, by pulling that honey all the way up through your body, and your breath. Just imagine that you're kind of, you know, when you get a piece of toast and somebody puts like a little bit of honey on just one side, like on one little corner, and you're like, damn it, I want honey on all my toast. I want my whole toast covered with honey. You're the toast. Your sexual sensation is your honey. Cover your toast or your body with that sensation. So bring it up. Start bringing it up. And to bring it up, I use my breath and my hands. And you're just pulling it up, yeah? So it takes a little bit of practice, but just imagine you're pulling that honey, that turn on, that gorgeous feeling that you're creating in your genitals, and you're pulling it up through your body. You might get tingles in your fingers, you might get tingles on your face, you might find that your sounds become higher. This is all great signs. This is signs that your energy is moving, that your sensation is moving, so keep pushing into it. And then the fourth and final step is surrender. So once you have sublimated that beautiful sensation up through your body, then you want to just let go. Then it's the hands off the steering wheel, just relax, keep breathing, keep celebrating that pleasure, and then let whatever happens, yeah? So you can continue to ride it until you, I don't know, you reach your destination, or you've run out of gas, or you've been pulled over by the police. I don't know, pulled over by the police. Why is the police pulling you over? I don't know. Your tires burst, whatever it is. Just continue until you finish driving, yeah? So they are my four-step formula. Now this is a really good, I will simplify it and put it in the correct order and email it out to I'm going to email this video and the writings down. I'll write it all out and send it to my newsletter guys today. So if you want, you can get it via going over to my website, and then you just need to pop your email address in, or just put down below in the comments like, yes, I want this formula, and I'll send it to you. Guys, I hope that was helpful. I hope that this weekend it gives you something to kind of play and explore and celebrate and kind of dive on into. And remember, it's up to you which and what area you want to explore and to spend more time with. All right, guys, thank you so much. I will see you all very soon on another Heart Rant. Bye.